Happy Tuesday. How are you? Welcome, guys. So glad to be here for Angels Don't Lie. I'm coming to you live from In Spirit Studio tonight, and I have a great show for you planned. I said that completely backwards. I have a great show planned for you. Tonight we're talking about heavenly beings. We're going to talk about guardian angels and who they are, what they are, and all the details about that. But the most important thing is I have a beautiful guest sitting next to me, Dr. Diane Hayden. Hi, Diane.
Hi, Jeannie. Thanks for having me.
Thanks for being here. I'm so excited for you to share who you are and what you have going on in your life, because I think it will benefit our listeners.
Yeah, that's great.
How are you, Casey? You over there at the studio tonight?
I'm doing great.
Good. How are we sounding? Are we good?
Yes, it sounds excellent. It's coming in loud and clear.
Excellent. Perfect. I wasn't sure, because we're sharing the mic. Perfect. Casey, you're going to love my wellness tip tonight, just an FYI.
All right. I'm sharpening the pencil.
Okay. All right. So where should we start? Let me start with Diane, so we can because I know you said we have a couple callers, but we'll start with Diane so she can tell us a little bit about who she is and why you care, because it's really important. So go ahead, Diane. Give them a little lowdown of who you are.
Sure. So let's see. What I do currently is I'm the owner and publisher of a group of magazines in New England. We started in Connecticut. It's the one in Connecticut is called Natural Nutmeg, because Connecticut's the nutmeg state. It's not a spice magazine. It's actually a holistic living magazine. But if I go anywhere in the country, people say, "Oh, nutmeg. Oh, natural nutmeg. Oh, like a magazine about spices?" How much can you say about that? And we have a sister publication up in Portland, Maine, which is Elm, Maine, and Elm stands for Essential Living Magazine. And we started about 12 years ago. It's been a long, amazing journey, but basically, in a nutshell, I saw a niche for a local holistic publication in Connecticut, and my mission was to be a bridge between holistic practitioners who were practicing integrative medicine, natural medicine, holistic types of practices and businesses, and the reader or the general public who was looking to find those people and really couldn't find them anywhere because a lot of them weren't advertising or they just didn't have a great way to market themselves.
Right. So, and Diane and I met actually via online, which was a lot of fun, and we ended up having a phone conversation, and we have so much in common. And I
including the color nail polish we're wearing right now.
Yes, yes. And I love the magazine because having a great article to read can really lead you to healing your own self. And this show is all about wellness, all about connecting to spirit and how to live our best lives. So sometimes we need those little tools, and an article can spark that for you, or even seeing somebody's ad can spark a healing within your life, and change can happen instantly. You can just choose to make a decision to go see somebody, and then all of a sudden your life just starts to go in a better direction.
Yeah, that's what's amazing, I think, about what I've been able to create with this community is, you can read an article in a magazine that's national and you're never going to be able to go see that practitioner. But with these magazines, you actually can, you can read articles and the person could be 20 minutes down the road from you. And you can pick up the phone and call them and make an appointment.
Right. And you're actually online too. So people, no matter where they're listening tonight, you guys can go online and it's naturalnutmeg.com, correct?
Correct, yep.
And you can read that online version. So there's articles, there's great information that can help you and lead you to where you need to go. Mm-hmm. And maybe even to ask the right questions of your current practitioner.
Right, exactly.
Yeah. So 12 years in, that's really amazing. I'm sure you have many stories to tell, success stories of people that have come to you and said how great it is to have this magazine.
Yeah, it seems like it was just yesterday. But yeah, 12 years later, we definitely have some practitioners who have pretty much told me that they've built their entire practice through writing articles and advertising in the magazine, which is,
wow.
I mean, that's the whole reason I started it. So.
And now you have a new program where you're helping practitioners on another level. Can you share that?
Yeah, sure. So through this whole journey of, really getting to know these different types of healers and practitioners and their businesses and whatnot. One of the things that I found or learned very quickly was that they're so talented and they have amazing gifts, but the one thing that they're not taught in whatever school they went to or whatever certifications they've done is really how to market themselves. Yeah. And that's the biggest thing. They've got amazing things to share with people, but if you're not getting the word out and people don't know about you, what good does that do, right?
Yeah.
So I created a do-it-yourself program. It's called the Holistic Practitioner Entrepreneurial School. I call it HPES for short. And it's basically just a 12-week do-it-yourself marketing program where I teach them everything from how to create a niche, how to set themselves apart from other, similar types of practitioners, how they can get publicity, how to write content and articles, how to use social media, how to repurpose their content so they're not constantly, having to write and, reinvent the wheel.
Right. How
to outsource so they can find, inexpensive ways for people to help them with marketing and whatnot. And it's basically for the person who's really just starting out in a business and either doesn't have any marketing budget or doesn't have a huge marketing budget. What are things that they can do, easily, quickly, that they can implement that can start getting them, results.
And the cool thing is that you guys, no matter where you're listening, you can take this program because it's all online.
Correct.
Yep. So it's really a value. I can tell you as a practitioner, starting up a business is not always easy, right? I started in my home. I went really slow, but it took a lot of time and a lot of effort. And I self-taught myself, how to do marketing, how to be on social media. So this is such a valuable program that you're offering. I think it's amazing.
Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah. So awesome. And then what was the other thing I wanted to ask you too? Oh, you were going to go nationwide. That was the big thing. Oh my gosh, that's the big thing. Wait.
That's okay. I didn't forget.
Good. Yes. All right. So that's the big news, is that this magazine is no longer just going to be, New England.
Correct.
Yep. Huge.
Yep. So 4 years ago or so, we expanded into Maine, just to see if we could duplicate it, the model somewhere else. And everybody asked me, why'd you pick Maine? I mean, we basically said, okay, anywhere in New England is fine. It's just, it happened to be the first place where we found someone who could do advertising, sales, and coordinate the editorial for us, and basically be, feet on the ground,
right?
Getting that magazine off the ground. But I mean, Portland's also a good place to be as far as what our demographic is. All holistic types of businesses and eco-friendly products and organic, products and things like that. So it took off just like the one in Connecticut did. And so, now we're in the process of expanding it nationally, and we're just looking for people who are in pretty much any market. I mean, we've obviously done market research, so we have certain requirements and demographics and things like that, but other markets throughout the country that would be good for this type of magazine that's really truly local, catering to holistic practitioners and the readers who are looking for them.
So now they know how to get to the magazine, but how would they contact you, the listeners, if they are interested? I mean, because this is such a groundbreaking thing that's happening for the magazine for you and where it could go. But if they want to talk to you,
they can simply email me. It's Diane, Diane, at naturalnutmeg.com.
Perfect. That's awesome. I think that's going to be so helpful for people. And I like the part that you can add articles and you can add, not only advertising your magazine, but you'll let, me write an article and share that with the public. And I think that's really important for people that are in holistic fields to be able to share their knowledge outward. I'm so grateful to be on this radio station with Casey and Kathy to be able to share this way. But also, people receive in different levels. They don't always receive in their knowledge in the same way. So some need to read, some need a visual, some need just to listen.
Right.
So
yeah. Well, I mean, that was the whole mission for me, really, was to provide this educational platform, because I feel like that's what really sets us apart, is this opportunity or place where all different types of practitioners and business owners can write content, or if you're not a great writer or you don't like to write, then we do interviews and things like that. But at least we're still getting the content out there, and it's it's a great opportunity, because when you think about it, where else can you really submit content on a regular basis like that? I mean, on your own website online, but not, to like a local publication.
And you have the spiritual connection, which for me, that's always the important part of it is, are you spiritual? Are you aligned with that divine? And you have that. Like you move with spirit. So you have great knowledge and logic. I said that to you earlier, but you also have this ability to connect on a deep level with somebody, which I think is important too. So that way, what's going in the magazine is going to connect on that soul level.
Right. I would agree with that. Yeah. It's definitely divinely guided for sure because, I'm not really strict about, okay, we can fit 12 articles this month and each article has to be this specific word count. Like I don't work that way at all.
Right.
I kind of just let it flow and I sort of think about the topic and then assign word count and, inevitably it always comes, the writer will always come in more or less or, whatever it might be, but it all seems to work out so that everything fits.
Right.
Every issue.
I think, and that's the magic of it, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Oh my goodness. So guardian angels. I mean, I think this is a great topic too, because being divinely guided means we follow what our guardian angel is actually doing for us. And a lot of times people will shut off that guidance out of fear. Like we ignore that intuitive gut feeling. We ignore the signs, but you're somebody that follows the signs and follows what your guardian angel is putting right before you. So not only is the guardian angel supposed to help and protect us, keep us out of harm's way, but also to lead us down that path of our soul truth. But they can interfere with free will, so we must be willing to participate. We must be willing to be open to those signs. So that's really very cool that you do that. Is that just an automatic thing, or did you have to teach yourself a little surrender?
Oh, gosh, I wouldn't say it's automatic. I mean, I can be a little bit of a control freak sometimes, and, I'll get some gut instinct, and I'll second guess it for sure sometimes. And, the times where I've gone against it, then I learned that was not the right thing to do.
Right.
Because it didn't work out the way I wanted it to. But, yeah, from the perspective of the magazine, though, I really do feel like I much more go with the flow. I just, like I said before, somehow it all just works out so that the exact right amount of content is always there. I mean, give or take certain times where maybe I had to cut a little bit of an article or something like that, but that is by no means the norm at all.
Right. It's fascinating.
Yeah.
Fascinating. All right, Casey, are you ready? Casey, are you there?
I'm here. I was ready to go.
You're taking notes over there? All right,
yes,
I'm getting my pen and paper.
Yep.
Okay. All right.
All right, here we go.
All right. Hi, this is Jeannie. Who am I speaking with?
Hi, Jeannie. How are you? My name is Ronella.
I'm so sorry. It's Ronella?
Yes, ma'am.
Hi, how are you? You emailed me, right?
Yes, I did.
Okay, we met on email. How are you tonight?
I'm doing good. How are you?
I'm doing well, thank you. How can I help you tonight?
Well, this is my first time ever doing something like this, but I've kind of lost my way, and I'm just trying to figure out what direction I need to go in far as my life. I know it's kind of a vague question, but just a little confused on where I need to be.
Okay. So the first thing they're like bringing up is this self-sacrifice. So I feel like you give and give and give. Do you understand that?
Absolutely.
And I also am feeling what the angels are showing me too is that because you've overgiven, you're in a state of depletion. So this is a time of like regeneration for you, of like healing. So is there health stuff for you, or are you just completely run down?
Just run down.
Yeah. So I feel like this is a time of like spending time healing, spending time being in the love of yourself and doing some holistic care for yourself.
Okay.
And I do feel like there's new work for you, but I don't feel like it's the time for new work because look, when you overgive, you become this person that there's nothing else of you to give. There's nothing else that you can do until you fill back up. So that's a really important thing. So are you in a current job right now? Because I feel like it's a dead end.
I am in a current job right now.
Yeah, and do you agree that it's at a dead end, meaning like it doesn't feel like it's going to go anywhere?
Correct.
Right. So is it fair to say that you could use a little bit of self-love?
Absolutely.
So I would love for you to be able to do some meditation and to start eating healthy, like changing up your diet. I feel like that's a number one big thing for you. And I do feel like it's hard, but I know you can do it.
Okay.
So, and be careful of resistance, which means like procrastination, things that you're going to be like, no, I can't do that. Pay attention to that because it's actually telling you a story. Yes, you can. And it's because you know it's going to be the best thing for you. So resistance usually is a warning sign. It's like, ooh, why am I resisting? Why doesn't this feel good? Because it normally will like really help you. So pay attention to that resistance so you can turn it the opposite way. Okay?
Okay. Yes.
Those are the first steps, and I don't want to, I don't want to go too far with you because I feel like you need to take care of those first, self-love, food, and then we can revisit this again.
Okay. Perfect.
Okay?
Yes.
All right. I hope that answers your question.
It does, and I don't know if you do this all the time, but when I've listened to your podcasts in the past, sometimes people come forward.
Yeah, so it depends on like how the angels are going to work for me. So the loved ones can come forward. Again, so when I'm connecting, they're going to bring what's for your highest and best good in the situation. And if that means the loved one's going to step forward to kind of give me that, that's what's going to happen. But tonight it's all about you and self-love. So that's where they're staying. They're like, nope, this is the most important thing.
Okay. Perfect.
Okay. All right.
Yes.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for calling in.
You're welcome. Have a good night.
You too. You too.
Okay. Bye.
Bye. And let me give you guys the number too if you have a question for me or even if you have a question for Diane. She would love to talk with you. Our number here is 646-891-5252. And there you have it. Casey, is there somebody else there on hold too?
Yes, there is. Here they come.
Okay. Hi, this is Jeannie. Who am I speaking with?
Katrina.
Hi, Katrina. How are you?
Okay.
Where are you calling from?
Right now I'm in Augusta, Georgia, at my sister-in-law's house.
Okay.
But I live in South Carolina, just across the state line.
Okay. Were you affected by the storm?
No, not really.
Oh, good.
Mm-mm.
Good. How can I help you tonight?
Well, I'm a disabled veteran, and all these things are coming to the surface now, and I'm trying to find out when I'm going to get my 100% disability from the VA, and also, is it going to continue to affect my working because my husband and I are opening a pizza restaurant.
Okay. So I don't know if you've previously listened to my podcast at all or my radio show. So one of the things what I do is I offer, divine guidance. I can connect you to your loved ones. But what I don't do is predictions. And so kind of what you're asking me is more of a prediction, if this is going to come to fruition. And the reason why is because we have free will. And God says we're not going to interfere with free will because there are things you need to learn as you're going through this process. And do you understand? I do feel like there's a little trauma for you. Is this from being of service or is this in childhood for you?
Mostly from being in service.
Okay. And I don't want to say post-traumatic stress, but I kind of feel like that trauma has produced some effects on you. Do you understand that?
Yeah.
Okay. What is the disability? Do you mind me asking?
Well, I have just recently. I've been having a lot of nerve damage in my feet and my hands, and I just recently found out it was spinal stenosis.
Okay.
So where my spinal cord is choking my vertebrae is choking my spinal cord.
And was there a head injury for you?
No, but I do get migraines.
Yeah, so I'm getting there. It's all around the head for me, and I also get inflammation. So whenever I get inflammation, I know that there's a toxicity. So for me, I feel like you have heavy metal toxicity, and I feel like that's part of what's going on. And I feel like it's about healing your body, healing your gut. Your gut feels pretty out of balance. Do you understand that?
Yes.
So and it's funny because, and there's no coincidence here, but my wellness tip is going to talk about how to get rid of those heavy metals tonight. Yeah.
Oh, awesome.
Because angels don't lie, and that's what this show is about. So you'll definitely want to listen to that. And I feel like that's part of the healing that you need to do in order for the rest of everything to come into that nice way. Like, I know you see the pizza restaurants, you see everything moving in that direction, but you can't get there yet because you need to heal yourself.
Right.
Okay? So that's what I feel like is the most important thing.
Right. I'm working on that.
And so I'm also getting stuff around the throat and the voice for you. Do you understand that?
Okay. Well, the spinal stenosis is all in my neck.
Okay, so how is that affecting the voice? Because my voice, my throat is actually like really, it feels dry and a little bit like I can't take a deep breath, almost like it's clogged.
Yeah, sometimes.
Okay. So I kind of feel like this has to do with that heavy metal overgrowth. Because I feel like, you have acid reflux too?
No.
No? Did you say?
No.
Heartburn, I'm getting like the same feeling, like it's all like acidic in your gut.
No.
So I'm trying to understand what they're showing me. Do you burp a lot?
Yes.
There it is. There it is. So the gut, you definitely have all that acidic going on. So listen to what I'm going to talk about with the wellness tip and start looking at how to heal your gut, because that's really how it's going to help your whole body feel better.
Okay.
The nerve damage, are we going to be able to repair that? That is inflamed. It depends how bad that damage is. So you might be able to reverse it. The body is pretty amazing how it can regenerate itself. So there can be an ease on that. Yeah.
I hope so.
It's just a matter of how. Yeah, and it's just a matter of how much you are going to participate in that healing of it, right? So we can go two ways. We can go natural medicine, we can take medications, we can go for surgeries, or we can try some holistic care, and we can try eating really well, shifting our life around, and seeing if that will heal it. So, we can do a combination of both, too. I feel like the holistic side is something new for you, but I feel like it would open up and be really amazing.
It really isn't, because my mom used to work for a clinic called ARE Clinic in Phoenix, Arizona, and I was raised on holistic medicine.
Oh, well, there you have it, sister. It's calling you home.
I know, right?
Well, thank you so much for calling in and tuning in. I appreciate it.
All right, thanks so much.
You're welcome. Have a beautiful night. God bless.
All right, good night. Bye.
Bye. Lovely. And I love that. Seriously, I love that we're going to talk about this, because this whole wellness tip is heavy metals. Right? You can't make that up.
No coincidence.
Right. Casey, you're going to love this. You're going to love it.
I'm looking forward to it. And as you always say, the angels always bring us the topics together.
They do. Absolutely. So we don't have anybody in hold, right? I'm not leaving anybody out over there.
No, we're good right now.
Okay. All right, guys, call in. We want to talk to you. let's talk a little bit about guardian angels. What is your feeling about guardian angels, Diane? Let me ask you. Do you believe in guardian angels?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely.
And I know a lot of people will be like, oh, my guardian angel is my grandmother. And I always, no.
I don't feel that way for me.
Guardian angels are literally angels, right? And they come with us from the time of conception to the time of birth and stay with us till the day we pass. And some people have more than one, depending on how busy or crazy their life is going to be. But they're never a human soul. So they haven't lived a human life before, guardian angels. And they come because they're divine guidance from God in order to protect us and help us and lead us down the right path. But again, they can't interfere with that free will. So if you're stubborn and if you're pushing the bucket, you might want to say, all right, I'm willing to surrender. All right, angel, help me out here. So let me read my list here so I don't get lost. You can call upon your guardian angel anytime that you feel like you're in need. And we've heard these heroic stories of people having like accidents and, almost dying and saying, an angel picked me up and saved me. This is how it happens. It's incredible. Do you ever read those Chicken Soup for the Soul books? I know, right? They're so good. And there is one just on like that, specific like angels that help in accidents or horrific things, which is incredible. So they'll give us like these gentle nudges. I always feel it like a little push or like a tingle. And I think people experience it differently. Do you have a sensation where you feel like the angels are talking to you?
Yeah, I don't know if it's so much physical like that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, see, I was really like shut off, so they needed to nudge me, and I had it. It was like, hey, I was like, are you gonna wake up?
Yeah. I don't know if I can exactly put my finger on it, but maybe it's more about I get a sensation about not to do something.
Ah, I like that.
Yeah.
And what does that feel like?
How do you describe negative energy? It's just like, there's something that's just not like, this doesn't sit right with me, or
right.
Yeah.
I'll get like, sometimes it's literally like a stop sign. I'll physically see it, or and I'll feel it pull back, or if I've gone and agreed to something that I shouldn't have, I'll feel it afterwards, like, oh no, it's just like a cool feeling that goes through my body, like that wasn't the greatest, but don't worry, you'll be safe.
There is, I just thought of this, there is a positive sign for me, like it triggered that when you said this, you see the stop sign. So one of my spirit animals is a great blue heron, and if I'm notoriously, I'm somewhere where you wouldn't expect to see one, or like, here's an example, I'm driving down the road and I have a convertible and my top's down, and for whatever reason I happen to look up, like how often do you do that? Rarely. And there's a great blue heron flying over. Right. And usually I've been thinking about something, like whether, and it's usually a yes or no question that I have, and whenever I see that heron, to me, that's always, yes, this is positive, you're doing the right thing.
Right. So you get that positive feedback.
Exactly.
I love that.
Yep.
Yeah, I'd love to know if you guys get that feedback too. Head on over to the Angels Don't Lie group and let me know if you get a positive sign and what it feels like. I think that's important. I know you're listening, and I know you guys are on there. So again, you can call on your guardian angel. You can call on all angels anytime that you really are in need. And it's simple. It's just through our prayer. So our prayer is our way of talking to God. We've talked about this, and asking for the things that we need, whether it's for ourselves personally or we're praying for somebody else. And it's through our meditation is where we hear God. It's where we hear that guidance. So your guardian angel can speak through you, through your meditation, and through you, like not outside of you. This is inside of you. So those feelings and thoughts will arise, and it will sound different than your own voice. So we talked about last week about automatic writing things down. just being still, putting your hand on your gut so you can feel that truth. Those are really simple action steps that you can do to connect. The biggest factor is, though, your faith and your trust in it. Is when we waver in that, when we doubt, that's when we choose to kind of like let that go. But they have patience. They'll wait around for us to come back to that center. Yeah, really, really pretty cool. So that's all about guardian angels. That's it. That's all I have. How are we doing on time? Yeah, we're doing good. What else? What else do we want to talk about? Oh, we're going to tell you that we're going to do a live show December 11th, and tickets are going to be available for that show next week. And you'll be able to, we have limited seating, so you'll want to get them right away. I do have a couple of conversations with Heaven coming up, so you can join those as well. And those are really great events where everybody gets read. So if you are willing or you're ready to have a full reading, that's something you should think about, is signing up for that Conversations with Heaven. And Casey says we have a caller, so Casey, whenever you're ready.
All right, here we go.
Hi, this is Jeanne. Who am I speaking with? Hello?
It looks like it dropped just as I was bringing it back
Oh,
up
man.
there, so I know.
Okay.
Thought we had it.
What's that?
I thought we had it, but it looks like they dropped off just as I was hitting the talk button.
Okay. So the number here, if you guys want to talk, is 646-891-5252. I also want to remind you about our Soulful Saturday, which is here at In Spirit Studio. This is an event, an all-day retreat type of event where there's speakers, meditations, workshops, healthy food, and it's just an overall really amazing day. Tickets are available on inspirithealingstudio.com. Yes. And I'll be coming we're going on tour, guys. We're going to be in Long Island. So tickets are available on InSpirit too. So check out all those great things and offerings that we have going on. What else? What am I forgetting? Did we talk about something else earlier that I said I was going to ask you?
Well, we talked about the program. We talked about the expansion.
Yeah. We did. We talked about your spirituality a little bit. Not a lot. That's what I was gonna ask. How you
were asked about my journey, I think, right?
Yeah. I was gonna ask you something about your your spirit, your system, for being in what you do, meditation wise and prayer wise, because you are this spiritual being, but you have this really great business, which I think is it's not always easy to have both side by side. You make it look easy.
Yeah. No, it's not easy.
It looks good, Diane.
Yeah. I'm good at making it look easy. Everyone says that. I'm also slightly afraid of flying, and everyone who I've ever
Thank God I hear something like that. Yeah. Okay.
Everyone who I've ever flown with has been like, you'd never know. You're over there. You look totally calm, and I'm white knuckling the seat every time there's turbulence.
Right.
But my spiritual practice it's more for me about doing something physical, because I'm so in my head with my business and, just trying to figure out all the moving parts. There's a lot of different things. Every day I do something different for this business. So for me, having a very structured exercise program is a necessity. I can't go. If I go more than a couple of days without doing something, I physically just don't feel well.
So what are your go-to physical activities?
Anything that'll make me sweat. So.
Oh, nice. No, I think that's great.
I love to run. I do interval sprint training. I lift weights. I'm a hiker. I'm a cyclist. Even just getting out and walking. And I have to be outside. That's why I need to go to Florida in the wintertime.
I was going to say, wait a minute. You need to be someplace warm.
Yeah. My boyfriend and I go down to Florida from October to, it depends. Every year is different. This year we're actually going through April.
Okay.
So
Wow.
but we come back and forth.
Right.
You know.
And where in Florida do you end up going?
We're in Naples.
Okay.
His family has a house in Naples.
I think I asked you this. Yeah, because we're going to go to the Keys in January.
Yep, we did talk about that.
So, yeah. And we do the same thing. We get away. My husband runs a really intense business, so for him it's great to get away, and I can do my work anywhere.
Mm-hmm.
So I can work while I'm away.
That's what's great about what I do too. It's
Yeah.
basically, you know, I have people that do our sales and marketing that are in the state, and then I have people that do the distribution, because it is a print magazine as well as online. So I have a distribution company that gets it out. But everything else that's done, I mean, my graphic designer works remotely. All the files are back and forth remotely. Like everything that I do is pretty much all via email and phone now. So I can do it from anywhere.
Bam, that's great. So I call those things the ing, what you were saying, like running. And what they are how we express God's love, like how we just move with that energy. So once we're expressing it, then we can really, it's an energy source. Mm-hmm. And that becomes what keeps us going and fueling us. So it's so important to do those things, whether we're painting, cooking, running, jogging, anything.
Dancing.
Yes, anything that you can do, you're going to feel great. True. Right. As long as you're you're using it and harnessing it as that's your tool, right? And it's not an addiction.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah, love that. So let's talk about that wellness tip. I think you might have some chime in here.
Sure.
So we're talking about heavy metals, and it's funny because, like I said, our caller, you know, she's having that heavy metal overload, but so many people end up having heavy metals and not knowing it. Heavy metal, how the angels have shown me, ends up toxifying the body, and it happens slowly over time, but it affects the thyroid. It affects our whole way our hormonal system functions. So once that's affected, it affects our liver, our intestines, and then it gets into our blood. So it creates this barrier of yuck in our body. It also takes the cells and it damages them and transforms them into mutated forms of cells. So that's how we get disease. You know, we start with an autoimmune. It starts slowly, right? Mm-hmm. One autoimmune leads to another autoimmune. And so heavy metals can have that brain fog. We can have where's the other word I wanted? Inflammation and acid reflux. Because once the gut starts to break down, our brain, so gut health and brain health obviously go together, and you know that. So, and that's where the hormone health comes in as well, because it all is affected. So once we get that leaky gut and we have that heavy metal, that's when we really want to pay attention, because we can pick up viruses, we can pick up parasites, and it can be systematic then. So one of my favorite ways to work with people that have heavy metals or have big viruses, and I say big because viruses can be just as simple as a common cold, or they can become systematic where you can't get rid of it. It's like, it seems to be like a never-ending, you know, one virus on top of the other virus, and it's almost like an autoimmune effect. Your body can't repair itself. So I love to use the bentonite clay, and I've talked about this on the show before. Have you ever used it?
I have not, actually.
Oh my gosh, it's completely amazing. So first off, you need to make sure that it's a food grade. So bentonite clay can be used topically, so externally on the body, draw out toxins that way, but it also can be taken internally. And what happens is it absorbs parasites, and heavy metals absorb into the clay, and then you basically poop it out. So my rule of thumb of how the angels have shown me, you take it for about a week or until as long as that constipation lasts, because what will happen in the beginning is you'll become constipated, because all those heavy metals are coming out of your organs and out of your intestines and into the clay, and it'll be harder to go to the bathroom. And then all of a sudden you'll have an ease up. That's when you know it's starting to move out and you're doing really well. And during this whole time, you want to make sure that you're flushing with lots of water, because it's going to dehydrate you. So we want to make sure that we're drinking, obviously, because constipation can dehydrate you as well. So when we're adding the clay. And the bentonite clay is also alkaline. So somebody that has an acidic stomach, we know acidic is going to cause disease. It's going to be anybody that's burping or having acid reflux. Again, if you're having a lot of joint pains, if you're having any intestinal issues, you're going to be in that acidic tone, and you want to be more alkaline. So what does an alkaline state do? That's our healthy state, right? So foods that are alkaline are going to be your fresh vegetables. They're going to be anything that's non-processed. It's going to be, I'm trying to think, like apple cider vinegar is perfect. Lemon water is perfect. Those are very alkaline. Foods that are going to be acidic are going to be alcohol. It's going to be meats and processed meats, and dairy products are going to be more acidic. Smoking, even our attitudes can be acidic. So if you're angry, frustrated, swearing, if you're being in that judgmental tone, you're going to be more acidic. But if you're prayerful and calm and you're running and you're using your ings, you're going to be more alkaline. So it all goes together, right? Mind, body, soul. So once you do that, you can repair that damage, and then you can start to rebuild your whole internal flora. So good gut flora means that your brain is going to feel good. You're not going to have that brain fog. You're not going to have that, kind of going from one thing to the other. You're going to actually feel better. And it will actually help you with weight control, too, because you can either be too thin or too heavy when you have all those heavy metals going on inside your body. So how would you do it? How would you get this bentonite clay inside? Again, it's going to be a food grade, and you're going to mix a tablespoon of the clay in a big 8-ounce glass, a mason jar of water, and you're going to let it sit with a plastic lid. So you can't use any metal when you're mixing the bentonite clay. So you need to use a plastic spoon, a wooden spoon, and a glass jar. You can use a plastic jar if you want to. I just prefer glass because I don't want any more toxins.
Exactly.
So you're going to mix that up and pop that in the fridge, and the next day you're going to take it out, and you're only going to add a half to a teaspoon of that clay into your water, and then you're going to drink that down, and then you're drinking an extra glass of water. So once a day, that's all you're doing, and not a lot. So once it's activated like that, it will do its job. It's my husband. My husband just texted me, you're supposed to get people to eat meat, not tell them that it's toxic. Yes, honey. Because he owns a meat company.
That's funny.
I love it. Thank you, honey. So that's how I use it. And for my overall, whenever I'm traveling, if you get on the airplane, whenever we travel, whenever we've been around that type of gas, and we want to remove those heavy metals. So it's perfect for that. Cool thing is that it makes a really amazing mask. Oh my gosh, it makes a great mask. So my favorite mask to do with that clay is you mix it in with a little bit of, you could do aloe, and then you do a little bit of apple cider vinegar. And if you have any kind of acne or, troubled skin, it's going to be amazing. You just put it all on, dries out, take it off with a warm cloth, and you just feel so refreshed.
Yeah, that's great.
You can also use it on the soles of your feet, because when we are sick, when we have colds, we can draw out toxins that way, especially through the soles of our feet. So you can do that same mask on the soles of your feet and then soak it off in the tub. Really cool. Soak in the bathtub with it as well. So there's my story. That's what I have. And you've never used it?
No, I've never used it.
Have you heard about it, though, before?
I have. Yeah, I have. I think I have. I don't know that we've ever done an article about it specifically, but I feel like I have a couple of natural medicine practitioners that have talked about it in relation to just heavy metal toxicity and detox. And
it's pretty incredible stuff, right? And, because you're a health-conscious person, it'd be interesting to see if you did it, like what would be your results, right? And so if you're very constipated, that you were pretty toxic. If you're having a hard time, and it's really like a week on, depends on the person. Again, you should see a natural practitioner as you're doing any kind of detox, because you want to be careful with any medications and anything that you have going on.
Right, and sometimes you feel worse before you feel better.
Exactly, depending on the level where you are. Exactly. So, here, that's what I have. That's what we have. Beautiful. All right, guys. I think, do we have a caller, Casey?
Yes, we do.
All right, let's do that.
I think they're here. They literally just hung up as soon as I said that. I don't.
Hey, what's
I
going
know.
on?
I don't know. It's strange. So hopefully they'll call back. But I used the bentonite clay to get rid of the tendinitis in my in my wrist/thumb.
You did?
Yes, I did.
How did you use it?
Well, I ordered it online, and it had a little recipe. It said that you mixed it together with like a spoonful of apple cider vinegar, and then I would just put it on my, in the affected area, and I did that for about 2 weeks, and it basically helped heal my hand.
That is really incredible. And I can't believe you didn't tell me this beforehand.
Well, I did, but I think we talked about this like a year ago. It was like a year ago.
We talked about the clay, but I didn't know you used it for your wrist.
Yep, I used it on my wrist to heal my wrist.
That's amazing. I love that. Look at that.
Yeah. There's so many natural remedies. And a lot of them are so simple, and it's almost like it should be common sense.
Yes.
Things that nothing necessarily new. It's just kind of the practice was not handed down. And like our parents or our grandparents moved away from it. And, those remedies are still there. There's,
you just have to find them and learn about them.
Yep.
So if you guys do this, the clay, and you're doing it internally, when you're done, you need to build that gut flora back up. You want to help it to be really healthy. So taking a good probiotic is something I really recommend. And it should be a refrigerated one. And, of course, there's other things that we can do for our intestines to help them heal, like spirulina, such an amazing superfood. I can't think of all the things I want to say off the top of my head. But, yeah, there's so many things that we can do once we have that clear palate to build it back up so it's really healthy. Again, the sugar is going to toxify. Anything that's, if we're carrying heavy metals, remember, viruses are going to cling to them. Bacteria will cling to them. Parasites are going to cling to them. Lyme disease is going to cling to that. So we want to starve those out. We want to make it so we have this really nice gut flora that can protect itself and kill off those viruses on its own and not be, all bogged down.
Yeah, we have a ton of information on naturalnutmeg.com about that.
Perfect.
I just remember that so many natural medicine practitioners have written articles about how their belief is that almost all disease starts in the gut. And I just think the average person doesn't even think about that. Like, they just don't make that connection as to, oh my gosh, like you would think that you would based on the food that you eat, but going to that next step of, okay, what happens to that food and how it's digested, and then how, effective is our intestinal physiology. And
when we're using up our energy to digest those foods, we don't have any energy left to feel good and maybe learn and study, which is, it all goes together.
Yeah.
But with resources like your magazine, it's so important, and resources like people listening to the show, that they can find that help, that they can find that pathway to healing themselves. It's really cool stuff. Yeah. And I agree with that, because that's what the angels say. Like, the gut is the health of the body.
Right.
And if that's off, usually we're off in some way, shape, or form.
For sure.
And sensitive people, that are really sensitive to energy are going to be more susceptible to be sensitive to foods, meaning whatever they're putting in their body, if it's not humanely treated or cared for, they're going to notice it in their body. They're not going to feel great. If it's grown not with love, and if it's maybe been genetically modified, it's going to affect them. They're not going to be able to function at the highest level that they can.
Exactly.
Yeah. And that's no fun. Yeah. Anyways, so Casey, no caller there. 646-891-5252 was the number if anybody wants to talk and see what you guys have to say. I'm here with Dr. Diane Hayden. Right on KBJB Radio. I sound so official that way. I'm getting tired and punchy. Can you tell? Yes, it's been a long day. What else do I have? What else do I have to tell you that's so good and cool? And
well, you had mentioned something about heavenly beings, but I don't know that you really covered it. Did you?
Yeah, I did. We talked about guardian angels. That was in the heavenly beings topic.
Okay.
Yeah. Good try, though.
Well, I know we talked about guardian angels, but I didn't know if it was all related, so.
Yeah, so it's under that main topic for the month, which is heavenly beings, and so it's like a subcategory, yeah. Yeah.
And I did have a question for Dr. Diane.
Go.
I was just curious about how she's thriving with the print when other people are not.
Oh, that's a great question.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Many people told me I was crazy. I started this magazine in 2007, which was like, economic disasters and whatever else, and then I'm going to start a print magazine. But either I'm naive or I'm the type of person that's like, well, hey, I'm just going to try this, and if it doesn't work, I'll figure something else out. I just wanted my own business, and this is what I'm going to do. But I really think we've done nothing but grow. I mean, I can't even keep enough magazines in racks and shelves and whatever, and I really think it's because of the niche that it is. I mean, I think that people, well, first of all, I still think that there are a lot of people that do like to pick something up and touch it and feel it. They don't want to read everything online, especially when you're talking about, content that's 800 word to 2,000 word articles that we have, which are typically, it could be a page to some of our long articles are 4 pages long. A lot of people just, especially if you spend most of your day working on the computer, you don't want to then have to, turn around and read something that way. So I think there's still a big demand for actual books and magazines and things that are in print. But because of the kind of niche that we are, meaning that everything in the magazine is 100% local to the area, people know that when they pick this up, it's vetted information. They trust us that, the content in there has been vetted by myself and my advisory board, and they can trust the practitioners that are in there and what, their knowledge and what they're saying, but that they can actually, pick up the phone and call that person and make an appointment with this naturopath or this, integrative physician, or, they can go to this holistic health food store that's 15 minutes down the road. And could you find that stuff by Googling it? Probably, yes. But then how do you really know what to trust when you're on the internet? It's just, there's just so much misinformation out there, really on everything, but especially in natural medicine and, fitness and weight loss and holistic living and all that kind of stuff that we deal with. But so I really think that that's what it comes down to. It's just the fact that it's a niche publication, and there's a lot of people that want this content, and they don't necessarily either want to be online looking for it or don't want to have to do that, and they like the fact that it's something they can pick up, it's free. And
I think it's also like they might not even know they need it, but because they've picked it up,
right,
and then all of a sudden they find it. And I believe that things are put in front of us, and I feel like that's the amazing thing about your magazine. It's finding people, and they aren't necessarily have to find it.
True.
So that's the bigger vision, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I like that. So does that answer your question, Casey?
Absolutely. And congratulations, you're doing it. It's a great venture you have going there.
Oh, thank you so much.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's been a wild ride.
Yeah.
But it's been great. I mean, I wouldn't, I'm ruined now. I can never work for someone else again, I don't think.
Right. Well, and why should you? Because you're creating a legacy. You're creating, this beautiful information system.
Right. But, I think I work harder being an entrepreneur than I would if I worked for somebody else, for sure.
But it's far more rewarding.
Of course. Yes.
Yeah.
Definitely. Definitely, for sure. But it's, for those people who are thinking about it, I think it's just, for me, it came down to, I got to a place in my life where I knew I didn't want to work for someone else. Right. I wanted to build something that was my own.
Yeah.
And this opportunity, I didn't start out thinking I was ever going to be a magazine publisher. This opportunity kind of fell into my lap, but I saw a need for it, and I saw a niche here, and I knew I had the right contacts and, background with my background in exercise physiology and nutrition and natural medicine, that I knew that I could, if it was going to work, I was pretty confident that I could make it work. But still, it's scary. I don't have somebody cutting me a paycheck every 2 weeks. I'm the one who has to go out and, make that money. And that can be very scary for people. But like I said, my mentality was, okay, I've worked for other people before. I've worked in academia. I know I can go back to that. So I have to try this, because if I don't try it, to me, it's worse. The what if is worse to me than, staying in something that is stable and, I guess I shouldn't even say that, because even corporations, like even jobs today, are not stable. But people think that they are. But yeah.
So I'm doing a workshop on Thursday, which you guys can sign up for if you're interested, which is called Transcending Fear to Abundance. Mm-hmm. And this is what we're going to talk about, that journey of how scary it is, those stopping points, those things that tell us, no, don't go there, or don't change that, keep it the same, keep staying in that situation because it's safety. But then we know that we have that gut feeling that something has to give, like there's something more I have to do. And how do you make those first steps? And especially when we talk about abundance, meaning like it's not just money, right? It's fulfillment, it's joy, it's relationships. So when we're moving in our alignment and we release fear, and what is fear? Fear is such a big word. It's those little stopping points that stop you from experiencing joy. I think it's incredible to be in your position. I feel like in my position too, to have my own business. But those points of like, what did I give up to do it? How did I quiet that voice down and calm those tones of, you can't do that. Who do you think you are? To be that person, to be who you're meant to be, so that you can receive that full abundance. So that workshop, you guys, is normally $99. It's going to be free for you on Thursday for a limited time. So you can sign up right on my website. And
That's awesome. I mean, for me, it was actually working with a coach.
Right.
So at the time that I was starting the magazine, I was actually going through a life coaching certification program too, and that was huge, because that, having a coach talked me off a ledge many times.
And it's because there's a big decisions to make, and how do we get past that? Yep. So exciting.
And you can't, don't do it alone. Like, that's the whole thing. It's like, and a lot of times I think as a solo entrepreneur, you feel like it's all on you. You're in this alone. Right. But you can, you just need to find other resources, whether that is a coach, or even like a mentor, or even like, starting a mastermind with a group of people, just, having other people to bounce ideas off of, and just seeing it from a different perspective.
Right. Knowing yourself, knowing what you're capable of doing, and what you need to outsource. Those are really like, what can you do? And when you have that confidence, when we build up that confidence, that's the most important thing. Yeah. Casey, you say we have a caller.
Yes, I do. And let's bring him online.
Let's try one more time. Let's try it. Hi, this is Jeanne. Who am I speaking with? Hi,
Jeannie. This is Adrienne from California.
Hi, Adrienne. How are you tonight?
Well, I'm good. Last time we spoke, you told me that, and you were absolutely right, that my father had 1 foot here and 1 foot in the other. I don't remember exactly your wording. Anyway, exactly a month ago, he now has 2 feet and has gotten his wings, and he left us. And we really didn't leave anything unsaid, but I wasn't able to say goodbye. And I was just wondering if maybe he had something to tell me.
Sure. Can you just give me your dad's first name, Adrienne?
Yeah, it's Ad, A-D.
Thank you. And that's short?
Yeah, it's short for Adrian. His real name is Adrianus.
Okay.
And it's Dutch, and in Holland they call anybody named that Ad.
Okay, because he's saying that's shortened, and he's saying the full name, so that's his first way of coming through. And your dad he's very I want to say specific. He's also like he's like logical. Like, it has to be this way. Do you understand that? Yeah. So that's his way of coming through. I do feel like there were goodbyes. He said not a proper goodbye, because things can't be proper at the end of life like that. I do feel like there was a little. I don't know why he's saying like messy. So do you understand that? Messy
no,
it might not be the right word. So I just feel like it was how things went, not as smoothly as they could have, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Okay. So that's kind of what it can't be expected to go a certain way. That's what he's making me feel like.
Well, that makes sense.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay. So that's how he's showing me. And you like to have things, kind of scheduled.
I'm his daughter.
Yeah. So that's how he's like showing me. It's his way of coming through to let you know. First it's him. And he said you've had some experiences of his energy coming to you.
Mhm. I think I have.
Yeah.
I really do. I feel if I look deep, I can feel a hug.
Yeah, and I feel like I feel like something about the sofa as well. So he just feels so comfortable to be around. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. And when they pronounced him at 3:34 a.m. But when I looked at his clock, it was 3:33, and I keep seeing 3:33 everywhere.
And that's such a beautiful number because that's the Holy Spirit, when we move with 33 and 333, highly powerful number. So really beautiful, and that's your dad letting you know too. Like he's in that heavenly space. And I feel like he says you're in a good place. I feel like you're grieving well. So
yeah, it helps to listen to you, and it helps to listen to my inner voice.
Good. I'm so happy. Thank you. Well, thank you so much, Adrienne. I hope this has helped you.
It has, Jeannie. Thank you so much. Again,
You're welcome.
Really a follow-up. It's really a follow-up from our last conversation that I had, which I love that one, and I thought, you know what, I'm gonna check in.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you, Jeannie.
I'm sorry for your loss, and I am thinking of you.
Okay, thank you. And another thing I wanted to quickly say, I wanted to thank all the Facebookers. I wrote that I had lost my dad, and everybody was so sweet and so supportive on Facebook. That really warmed my heart as well. We have a great group of people.
Our Angels Don't Lie group is so wonderful, and if you would like to join, just go on over to Facebook and ask to join. We'd love to welcome you in with big warm.
Yes.
Yes.
They're wonderful. They really are. Very supportive.
Thank you, Adrienne. Have a beautiful night.
You too. Thank you so much.
All right.
Bye-bye.
Take care. Bye.
Bye-bye.
All right. Well, I think we've done this show. We've done it justice. It's beautiful. Thank you, Diane, for joining me.
Thank you so much for having me.
I appreciate it. And you guys, you know what I know, because angels don't lie. I'm out of here, but I'll be here next week, same time, same channel. This is Jeannie, and I'll see you next week. Goodbye.